Welcome back, everybody. This is Jason Seacross. Welcome to another episode of Just the Tips. We are going to be focusing on the Type on Path tool today. I think it is a great tool, especially if you're doing badges. It definitely makes your logos look a lot more professional, but it is a little bit tricky to work with. So we're going to take the next 5 minutes to just kind of explain some of the ins and outs. Now, whenever we are doing our episodes of Just the Tips, we're trying to be a little bit more efficient with our time, just focusing on one tool at a time where we can give you little nuggets and then you can move on with your day. So today we are going to be Type on Path tool. Now, what my first recommendation is you're going to notice that in our layers that I have our base layer. As soon as I want to move on to the Type on Path tool, notice that we have different layers ready to go. So if I have both of those all on, and I select all of them, your mouse will have absolutely no idea what's going on. So that is what we are trying to avoid. So that is why we want to have things nice and separated. Make your mouse a happy guy, and we are going to separate top and bottom. So let's just kind of focus on a few different things first. Start from square one, if we will. So I've already done one where we have just another circle. I've just let it come on out. Now when we are doing the ellipse tool, I just held down Alt and Shift. This is a line in the center of the artboard. Notice that I do not have a fill. I do not have a stroke. Now under our Type tool, just click and hold. We are going to have Type on Path tool, and as long as I click on path, you might be able to see that my smart guides are on. It'll let me know when I am on a path, by the way. I am going to color that guy white, and I'm just going to say Type on Path tool. And let's just start 48. That looks pretty decent. Let's focus on a couple fun little things with that Type tool. And I am just going to select it, and I'm going to color it back black just so you guys can see it. Now there's all these little fun little tools that make no sense, so that's why we want to go through it. What we want to do is, notice that I am on my black selection tool, and it might just help out if we zoom in a little bit. This is basically the start and the end of the Type tool. So now if I click and drag, and now notice that the T is not moving, more than likely this is the end point. So I'm going to say Type tool. This means this is the start. So notice that it is right there. I'm going to click and I'm just going to drag that down, and I'm looking to just align it pretty much with that guy. Now whenever we're doing that, this is basically what it is aligning to. So if I come back over, if I say, hey, let's select that bad boy, and if I come over to paragraph, notice that it is justified left. That is what it is adjusting or aligning to. If I want to center, and I would probably say 9.999% of the time, you want it to be nice and centered over the middle. So when we are aligning center, let's just come back to our black arrow. That is what it is centering to. Just be aware that it's going to have that nice little, and I'll just hover and we'll zoom in so you can see. That is what we are looking for, that nice little arrow, and that's what it's going to center to. Just also be aware that you don't have any stray spaces. That will also throw off any of the aligning. So just be aware of that. So that is Type on Path tool number one. Let's do another one. I just want to do another layer. Let's do our nice little circle. I do not want any fill. Now I just want to first just make one, and we'll align it later. I'm going to align. Let's go middle, middle. And for this one, might zoom out just a bit. Method of the madness. I want it to be a little bit bigger. We can always change it. So now this Type on Path tool, I'm just going to click on it. Notice that it does let you know when you are on a path. Everything will be pretty well the same. So I'm just going to go just the tips for this one. Again, once I'm done, I'm going to go black arrow, and we're going to get our two start and end points. Now the thing I want to do is basically what happens if I don't want it on the outside. You're going to notice that there's this other little stray hanging out right here. Now if I click and I'm holding, and I'm basically going to flip it onto the inside here. And I'm just going to let go. And again, we have our two starting points. I'm just going to drag that one over. And usually there's this nice little box and rectangle around our circle, and that's just our transform tool, by the way, the easiest version is just align it with the ends here. Since we're looking to most of the time align it on the bottom and or the top, here are the two easiest points that are usually right there. If there's something in your design that you can align it to, you can always do that. But just notice that when we are selecting this, right now it is aligned to the center. If I click it to the left, it's going to come over here, and just be aware that that's what those little markers are for. And then as soon as you know what those do, your life becomes very, very easy. So if I said, hey, let's just see where our things are, type on path. Now since I just blindly did that, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty impressed that that lined up fairly decently. I can always adjust it, and then we can go from there. So I can always adjust it. If I say, hey, this doesn't look like it's centered, I can grab this circle. I can always just scale it up. If I say, hey, I want to modify this text, I can always drop down the size, obviously, and I can also do some of the kerning and justification so it fits within our circle. So that is just the type on path tool. Really, it is just there's these little markers that are kind of hidden. They're not well explained most of the time, and as long as you just understand that that's what those are doing, I think you'll have a lot of success, and everything else is pretty much just scaling a circle at that point. Second episode for Just the Tips. Again, we get to focus on just one little thing. If you have any comments and or things that you're struggling with, that is definitely what I want you guys to put into the comment section, and definitely let me know what you are looking for, and we'll put it in the next episode. And thanks for hanging out.